Hi, I'm Pat Barrett, and welcome to Women's Radio 2. These are really very, very bad economic times and probably going to get worse. And a lot of us, entrepreneurs and even people in major businesses, are worried and looking for a lot of answers, old answers, new answers, things that work. And today, my guest is a person who certainly has the credentials of being one of the very, very top best salespeople and sales trainers in the world. His name is Joe Pici. I am delighted to have gotten to know him. And I believe that today's time with him is going to prove very, very valuable for all of the listeners who are in any kind of business. In fact, you don't have to be in a business. You could be in a not-for-profit. We all have to use pretty much the same techniques and abilities to talk with people and make a case for the sales that we're offering. And I am very delighted to welcome to Women's Radio 2, Joe Pici.
Well,
Hi, Joe.
thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'm so excited. Now, I want you to think back about 2008. And if you're too young to think back that far, you're lucky. But in 2008 was the worst economy we had experienced. I'm seeing the same type of economy. And so during 2008, we grew 37%. During the first year of COVID, we grew 28%. Second year of COVID, 38%. How did Pici and Pici weather the kind of economy we're in right now? I'm going to give you some tips, some secrets on some of the things we've done to weather this type of economy because I do believe it is going to get worse before it gets better. So if
Would
you
you?
look at I call them non-negotiables, things that we have to have mastery over to get better. The first thing is you've got to have total clarity. I mean, you got to know what it is you want to accomplish. You got to know the kind of money you want to make. You got to know timelines and deadlines. You got to know why. That's your foundational piece. Now, I will say this because a lot of you are entrepreneurs, business owners, upper level management, or nonprofits. There's two things you have to generate business in this type of economy. You got to be ambitious and you have to have self-discipline. And those things are characteristics. A person can't teach you self-discipline. It can't teach you ambition. Those are things you have to bring to the table. And what I'd say, and I hope you don't take this too offensive, if you don't have those things, you might look to get into some other deal because sales takes ambition and it takes self-discipline. Now, on top of that, you've got to be a great communicator. 80% of communication is listening. How are our listening skills? I think people talk more than they listen, or they listen with the intent to say something back. They're manufacturing it in their mind, and you can't listen and talk at the same time. So now that's your foundation. So, what are the four key elements, the four secrets which aren't really secrets, but people tend to be aversive to these things? Number one, every day you got to generate prospect leads. We have 17 ways that we generate leads. At Pici and Pici, we generate leads 17 different ways. LinkedIn happens to be our number one. Okay. So you generate the leads. Number two, we opt to use the telephone to make a phone call, an outbound call to book an appointment with a decision maker as our first point of entry. So now you generate the leads, you pick up the phone, you make phone calls every day to prospective clients. The third thing that's essential, and this is where you can put a little circle. This is the number one indicator of business growth. These are called core stories or sales meetings. Now, we like to sell consultatively. There's two types of sales. Transactional, get to yes or no as quickly as possible, but we don't want to do that. We want to be consultative because 86% of sales happens between the 6th and the 15th contact. So the core story or the sales meeting will indicate, okay, the blood flow of your business. And the last thing is priority and time management. We've all read time management books, and then we're bad at managing time because you can't manage time. You can only manage priorities. So when you look at that model I just gave you, from the bottom up, it's like a bottom up pyramid. The top line is lead generation, booking appointments, core stories or sales meetings, and priority and time management. I'm going to kick this back over to Pat for any questions that she might have.
You must have read my mind. Yes, I do, because I think I probably we all have to sell. And some people do it kicking and screaming, but like you said, a lot of the time it's just a discipline. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you do it religiously, and you learn as you move along exactly the things you're saying. You can't just get on and go, blah, 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 blah. Well, yes or no, bang, next. It just doesn't work like that. And so the other piece, like you said, is the communication part. What the right words that you say. I mean, how do you teach people to get into a sales call easily, and so that they're eager to ask you questions or have a conversation with you?
Well, again, we believe in scripting. Now, I know a lot of people don't like scripts, and I always say this to them. The best actors in the world are Italian. Okay. You got Pacino, you got Brando, you got what the greatest that Stallone, and they're all scripted. They all go to a script. Now they know it so well, it doesn't sound like a script. I believe in scripting because it makes everything more predictable. So we'll have a script for a gatekeeper. We'll have a script for leaving a message. We'll have a script for getting to the decision. All of the things in our 3-day sales boot camp or our corporate training or one-on-one coaching, we focus a lot of it on messaging, a great value proposition. Okay. And so
Right.
whether we're dealing with speakers, coaches, trainers, insurance people, realtors, whatever, anyone that has to sit down and do a quote unquote quality sales meeting, we can work with because we focus more on the skills and the messaging. And again, your business is indicative. That is a direct proportion to how many quality meetings you're doing a month. So back to Pat.
Oh, well, I'm wondering, as you say, you have to come with a sense of discipline and a sense of your own desire to reach your goals, however you want to word that. How do you suggest, if their mamas didn't teach them right, that they learn to discipline themselves? Like, you have to get up at the same time. You have to do this first. You have to do this second, and things that. How do you suggest that people rev up their engines?
I think the first thing, they've got to have a system. You know, we're all busy people and we can all get hit with distractions. And the more talented and gifted you are, the more distractions you're going to have. Okay. The more creative you are, the more distractions. So, what we did, we came up with a system and a methodology called priority and time management. We teach people how to time block. Okay. We teach them how to put the most important things of the day up on top. We teach them how to take bigger projects and give that a certain amount of time. We teach them what the distractions are and how they can alleviate them. So you can't just say, I'm going to have self discipline. I'm going to be better with my time management. You really need a method, an unemotional methodology and process to follow.
And how do people, other than getting on the telephone and having people hang up in their face, what a terrible example, but how do people really learn good technique, or the right, in a sense, the right things to say, the things that turn people on? How do they learn that? How do they learn how to learn that? Where do you go?
Okay. That's a great, here's the thing. When we first got into this space, training, we were keynote speakers, and we decided to walk off the keynote stage for a while. We wanted to be the best trainers in America. And so we realized there was a problem. People didn't know where to find good leads. People didn't know how to get in front of decision makers. And so we built a big part of our business around that. So whether we're in like in our boot camp, we teach people how to have the right messaging that will open the door to a quality meeting. Well, you see, the thing is, you can't teach charisma and talent. Like Pat, you have a lot of charisma, you have a lot of talent, you have a great personality, but you can't teach that. You can't duplicate it. So we broke down the entire sales process into learnable skills. So, like, for example, if I'm approaching a speaker, a coach, or trainer, I would say to them, we specialize in helping speakers, coaches, trainers, and consultants make money with their talent and intellectual property. Now, if they want to make money with their talent and intellectual property, I probably have a meeting. If they don't, I probably don't need to sit with them. Okay. And so I think the problem of having fear of the phone is because we really think the phone is to get a meeting or to sell. It's not. It's to find out if they're a qualified prospect.
That's a really, really good point. I think especially a lot of young people who start working for a corporation and thrown into sales, so to speak, they forget that the phone and a relationship is a two-way street, and that it's important for them to qualify the people they're talking to, as well as give a good impression and to have develop rapport with the person on the other end of the phone. How do you do that? Well, they give courses on getting into rapport with people.
Right.
But I think again, like you're talking about ambition, that people have to have a real desire to be of service to other people. I think if they really, really want to do that, they're looking to see, can I really help this person? Could I really uh, be a benefit to this person? Does this person, do they have enough background so that they could actually understand the things that I'd like to give them? That
Right.
isn't always a match.
That's true. I know we're running out of time here, so before we get close to the end, I'd like to give a free gift out.
Oh,
If
yes,
everybody would,
please tell us.
if they will take out their cell phone and go into the text box and put the word sales edge, that's one word, SALESEDGE, and text that to 59925. A link is going to come up for Pici and Pici. Hit the link, it goes to a splash page. Register with an email, and you will get a free webinar. That's the first gift. The second gift is anyone who would like to call me for a free complimentary cup of Joe. I will answer any
As
of
it
your
were.
questions, 407-947-2590. And we're having our sales boot camp, 3-day sales boot camp. It's ranked #1 in the world for 4 years in a row by Global Gurus, October 27, 28, 29. If you call me and tell me you saw me on Pat's show, I'll give you a $500 discount. Our second boot camp on the 29th, the 30th, 31st, and November 1st is our Business of Speaking, Training, and Coaching boot camp, where we'll help you make money with your talent. If you call me up at 407-947-2590, I'll give you a $500 discount. So as we're winding this down, how about one more question from Pat that I can answer?
I'm wondering what you have heard because you talk with so many people. What's the number one question that people have, whether they're brand new in sales or they've been around in sales, considering the economy that we're in? What do you think people are most afraid of, or what they're most looking to learn or overcome?
Well, number one, they like an easy way. Joe, what's the easiest way to get clients? And what I'm honest tell them is, look, you're going to have to talk to more people now. There's still money out there and there's still business to be had. However, you're going to have to do more in this economy. You're going to have to rev up the number of leads, the number of calls, the number of sales meetings or core stories. If you'll do that, I promise you, and turn off the news for a while so you don't listen to what's going on, you will write business.
I think that's very encouraging. I think we talked about this a couple of days ago. I love Tony Robbins' philosophy. It's one of the very first things I remember that he talked about. And he said, whenever you get to a place and you're trying to push through, take massive action. And
Yeah.
really, that you're saying the same thing, and in
Right.
a disciplined way. You know that you're going to have to make, maybe it used to take 100 calls, maybe you have to make 200 or 300 calls. Whatever that is, then use that discipline and line it up and have all of your leads ready, et cetera, et cetera. And I have a feeling you've got lots of good things to teach people in the course about how to keep up, how to
Yeah.
be organized, et cetera, et cetera. But as you say, it takes more than passion. It takes discipline. You have to decide from your heart and your core that this is somewhere you want to go, you want to be on top, and you're going to do what it takes. And if it takes, and you know it takes so many calls every single day, then line it up and get it done, right?
Yeah. Well, come to the boot camp. I know we're done. I think I'm coming back next month to see you. And
You
so,
are. We
thanks
have
for
two more
inviting me.
times together.
That's right. I'll see you
Yeah.
next month.
Well, we'll look forward to it. And thank you so much. I think these are real words of wisdom that anybody doing anything can take advantage of. You don't have to be calling on corporations. It's the work that you want to do. But being able to be effective and efficient, and also be able to get to the point where you can relax to a certain extent when you are talking to people and develop that rapport is going to make your life a lot more fun. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that comes again through the workshop that you're going to give. Is the
Yeah.
right words are going to come out.
Oh,
People are
yeah.
going to learn some right words, and I believe in that. So thank you so much, Joe. This was very,
Thank you.
in a short period of time, you did a lot. Thank you.
All right.